Folks, we have one of my favorite vocalists of all time on the show. If you don't know his band, you'll know it by the end of this. Sam Carter of Architects. One of the biggest metal bands in the world, absolutely crushing it. I first listened to you probably around 2009.
Wow.
I hear this guy.
That's a hell of an intro as well.
Yeah, thank you.
You got to sit here and try and not float. My head's got to try and like stay small and not float off.
Sam Carter, ladies and gentlemen, this is amazing. I got to shout my friend John out. He put me on to you way back in the day.
Amazing.
And was just like, you got to hear this guy, man. It's insane. He's one of the best vocalists.
Amazing.
And ever since then, I've been hooked. And so, you know, the band started all the way back in 2004.
Yeah.
What was that time like in your life when the band was just kind of forming?
For me, it was very different because I joined Architects. So they released one record without me, but this was the band that Tom and Dan started like in school. So around that time, I played drums in a band. Really? I played drums a lot as a kid. Yeah, and then when I met the guys, I was playing drums in 5 bands. So I was like going to work every day, and I would take my cymbals and my snare to work with me every day, and I worked like an hour away from where I lived, so I would get the train in and then rehearse there and then come home, and I would carry them to the train station every day.
At that time?
So around that time I was probably 17.
Sick.
But that was when I was desperate to be in any sort of music.
To do this.
Well, yeah, because I wasn't really good at anything else.
Yep.
So I struggled in school. I struggled with like learning and.
Are you ADD?
Yeah, ADHD. Yeah.
A lot of musicians are.
Yeah.
Probably all of them.
But luckily, I found my thing, which was music, and. Then they lost their singer, and I had started a band that kind of sounded like Hopesful with a couple of friends, and I sang in the band because I was always doing backing vocals as a drummer, and then they came to a show and saw me singing, and then Ali came into the shop. Well, we worked on the same street, like 2 or 3 days later, and was like, our singer's quit, do you want to try? And at first I thought he was asking me if I wanted to play drums.
Right.
And I was like, but I can't do double kicks. Like, I'm a punk drummer. Like, I can't do that. Like, but I was like, thanks, I wish I could. And he was like, no, we want you to sing. I was like, oh yeah, shit, yeah, I'll give that a go. And
did you feel comfortable? Were you nervous doing that, or did you just feel like you could nail it?
I was. Do you know what? As a kid, I was quite confident. I'd say I was probably more confident than I am now.
Good.
So I was like, yeah, I'll fucking do this. I went in and probably got all the time signatures wrong and fucking blew it. But here we are now after all this time, and yeah, it's been pretty amazing. When
did you figure out? Well, first of all, like growing up for you, when did you start getting into heavy music? What was it for you that you're like, dude, you said you were desperate.
Yeah.
What drove that desperation for you to really motivate you? For me, it's like Limp Bizkit, Slipknot, Korn.
It's all the same for me, really. I grew up in a house that was like, my dad's like the biggest Beatles fan, and now I am. But then it was like Zeppelin was on all the time, Stones, so it was always like bands.
Yeah.
And then I think it was probably Nirvana was probably the first record that I sought out by myself, and then I think it was The Offspring, and then Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park. Like I was in with those bands, and I think especially like Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, like hearing them, like hearing bands with like aggressive vocals, I was like, whoa, okay, this is me. And I think Linkin Park for sure. I mean, like you can hear it in my voice. Like Chester was such a big inspiration. But then from there, moving on to like bands like Under Oath and Norma Jean, and then going from there into
Norma Jean's so sick.
Yeah.
Under Oath as well.
Yeah, so they were awesome.
That MySpace era, bro?
Yeah.
Were you on MySpace?
Yeah. And you know, like now we're lucky enough to have like toured with Under Oath a bunch of times. They're such nice people. We took Norma Jean on tour. Like these are proper like moments where like, I was in school listening to these bands. Right. So it's it feels quite the achievement to be where we are.
No, absolutely. And so, did you play sports or anything growing up?
Yeah.
I'm interested because you're from Europe. Yeah. I wonder how similar the childhoods are. We grew up in the same eras.
Yeah.
The new metal era, all that kind of stuff. What did you do? Did you play sports? Were you a bad kid?
No, I played football a lot, like soccer.
Yeah, I know.
And I still do. But I did a lot as a kid, and it kind of got to a point where it was like football, music, skateboarding. What are you going to do? And drums was the thing that felt really like natural to me.
Yeah.
So it didn't feel like I had to work at it. And I think having like ADHD, my focus was so hard. But then with that, I was like, oh, I can do this all day.
They say with ADHD, you know, I'm very, very much so as well. If you love it, you can hyper-focus.
Exactly.
Hyper-focus on this stuff, you know, just as you do on your music.
Yeah.
And so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so that never felt like work for me, and music has never really. So it's good. Actually, it does now. It does now.
Yeah.
Feels like a lot of hard work now, but it's all worth it, you know.
Right, 100%. And to see the success that you've had, and you know, I jump around on things, but I do want to interject while we go through your history of music.
Yeah,
but also the new songs that you've been putting out. You know, Curse, Seeing Red. They're streaming incredibly well. The reception's been amazing.
Yeah.
You guys are, you know, these are more of melodic songs that people are maybe used to hearing from you. But I think people are, I certainly am loving what I'm hearing. Because this is like right up my alley.
Yeah.
If, you know, more of a hard rock sound with the metal still.
Yeah.
From Architects, especially with Seeing Red.
Yeah, I think what's cool with these songs is, you know, I think sometimes a lot of bands are kind of too proud to admit that they didn't get stuff right, and I think Classic Symptoms, we tried with all the best intentions to write the best Architects album, no different. We were just in a certain headspace at that time where we were kind of more rocky and we were enjoying that kind of music, right? But I think what's cool now is with Seeing Red and Seeing Curse is we kind of taken the lessons we learned from that record and moved it into this new world where we're bringing in a lot of the older sounds that we've had in the past, and kind of understanding really what like our fans love about our band as well. And I think actually when you take that distance from your own band and look at it subjectively, you're like, oh no, like there wasn't a lot of screaming on the Classic Symptoms of Broken Spirit, and I think a lot of people really like that yelly sort of desperation that I have in my voice, of like that, I guess, kind of pain. And I think people can really connect to that, and I think it was important to bring a lot of that back. But yeah, kind of learn what we learned about melody and bringing a few more of that stuff bits in, and I think working with Jordan Fish as well, like he's an incredible,
sick producer,
incredible producer. I mean, like
next
working
level.
with him on vocals is like a dream, and he's definitely managed to take me to another level, and
he seems to be really in demand right now.
Yeah, he is.
But y'all got to work with him.
Yeah.
On Seeing Red, you know, I don't know exactly what it's about, but some of the themes of the music, like, you know, people want you to be, they want the angriest version of you.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't want, you know, or it's not, I don't believe that. I don't believe that it's like most people don't want.
Yeah.
There's a segment of people that want angry ass Sam.
Yeah, and I get it. I think also like coming through off the back of Holy Hell and All Our Gods, it was like I'd been kind of grieving on stage for sort of 3 or 4 years. And I think we just got to the point where it was like, I can't do this anymore because it's like, it's not an act. So we tried to sort of do some things that we were enjoying ourselves and kind of move away from that pain and anger. But I just think we're really good at being a heavy band. And I get it. I get why fans were annoyed. I also think there's different ways of going around it. I mean, like, I remember we released one of our singles and the top comment was like, I wish these guys were still depressed.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and it had like thousands of likes.
Dude.
But we had like, and the whole way through that campaign, like I had hundreds of people sending me DMs saying like Tom would be rolling in his grave. Like it was
that's disgusting.
It was insane.
That's sickening.
Yeah, crazy. But you just have to go like that. Those people must be hurting in some way, and you have to kind of and you have to just not engage in it. Really,
that's a nut job. That's like nut job behavior.
Yeah. We did an interview. I did an interview for Radio 1 during that time, and it was with my friend Daniel P. Carter, who's
he's a legend.
He's amazing. He's like, you know, was at Tom's wake, like has been with us through everything. And he started talking to me like during the interview. He's like, "Are you okay?" I just started crying on Radio 1. I was like, "No, I'm not." And like I just opened up and was like, just kind of got out of character and was like, "This is hurting me. Like, how dare you say his name and all this sort of stuff." So I posted it being like, "Your words affect people."
Right.
comment straight away, yeah, but Tom would hate your music. It's like, so you can't win. It's almost like you just have to not play to them and
it's really crazy that it's a parasocial relationship.
Yeah.
They think they know him better than you.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And
but I'm like, I know his favorite band was like fucking Coldplay, so I think he'd be pretty into what we were doing, you know.
Yes, there's no doubt. And I mean, the songs are objectively fantastic. It's not as if, you know what I mean, they're great songs.
I mean, like, you know, I think I get it. There is definitely bands that I listen to that have released records and I've been a bit like, but I don't, like, I still love the band.
Right.
But, you know, those bands have come back with great records, and that's what we're doing.
Well, yeah, and what is it with bands from Europe that change into a more melodic sound and it goes really well for them, and then everybody gets it wrong, and they always Bring Me the Horizon.
Yeah.
Dude, what are you thinking? You're open your sound.
Do you know, I love it when people are like, oh, you're trying to be like Bring Me the Horizon. You're like, what, selling out arenas around the world? Thanks very much.
Exactly.
I was like, I'd take that any day of the week. Thank you very much.
It's like, it seems like that went well for them. It also seems like creatively they're doing what they want to do, and I believe that with you as well. Yeah. 100%. There's no doubt about it that I think once artists have been doing it for a while, people start to think, you guys did technical, extremely technical, really well for a long period of time.
Yeah.
But it's also a challenge to write an extremely song.
Do you know what I like as well? Is I like that people think that writing those hooks and stuff is really easy.
Really hard. Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's so catchy. Like, why have you done that? It's like, I wrote about 100 choruses to get it there, so thank you.
Yep.
But, you know, again, like, when I joined Architects, I was 17. I'm 35 now. You know, I'm into different stuff than I was then, and yeah, I think as long as the intentions are still the same,
right,
which they are, it's just having fun, writing music and touring the world. You can't complain. I don't care what anyone says.
Did you kind of come up with Bring Me the Horizon as well, like where you guys are close?
Yeah, we did Bring Me's first ever headline tour of the UK.
That's so sick.
Yeah, and
long time friends.
Yeah,
that's
since the beginning. Yeah, and my first ever European tour when I joined Architects was with Bring Me, and yeah, we've been friends for
seems like
so
you guys are just like all ball busters and like just kind of goofing off a lot when you hang out.
Yeah, it's great, man. I mean, like that scene in the UK, it's been going for like 20 odd years. Like we're still here, both of us. It's amazing, and yeah, like they're a very inspiring band. You know what they've done and what they've created, and I think what they do for this scene is amazing.
Yes, and from the standpoint of looking back at the hate they got, where they're like, what are you thinking going away from deathcore? And it's like, dude, they're crazy big now, and rising. And I mean, you talk about post-human next gen. I think it's neat when you have like, for me, I've had success, and you know someone else who had success too. And it's cool to see that. What y'all are doing, what Bring Me's doing. And
well, this is the thing for me. Like what I think, and kind of how I am with music and with bands and friends of ours. A long time ago, I gave up on it being a competition because I don't care. I'm just like, if I see Bring Me the Horizon playing the Brit Awards, that is incredible. If I see any friends do like Sleep Token, we took Sleep Token on tour a year ago. They were first on in Germany for us. And now they are doing like Red Rocks in the States. They are outstreaming us. They're a bigger band. They're a bigger band than us now.
It's crazy.
And all I am by that stuff is inspired. It's the same with Bad Omens, the same with Spirit Box, the same with like this scene. Like, what's the point in just being like an angry old man sitting there going like, what the? Like, we're doing great. My life is great. I love seeing my friends do stuff. Like, it's amazing.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
Absolutely. And the grass is never greener. Never.
They are always, bands are very competitive with each other, and it's very much, you will never find happiness doing that. Just a rising tide lifts all boats. I'm the way I am. I look at people, and I mean, it's easier for me because I'm not in a band, but like, obviously every band that becomes successful, I'm stoked about. But I just don't get. Maybe it's because I think by nature of what you do, it's always about placement online.
And like, don't get me wrong. Like, you know, I am like, I do want our band to do very well. And I am, and that's why I work so hard.
You're in competition with yourself.
Exactly. I don't care what anyone else does. As long as, like, if I feel fulfilled and I feel like we've done a good job, that's all that matters. And most of the time I don't, which is why we have such a high bar, because I'm like, let's keep going, on to the next thing. There'll be time for me to look back at what Architects has done when I can't scream anymore and I'm old. Like, now I'm like in it, I'm like, I'm just going to keep having fun, you know, that's all we can do.
How do you write? Do you write on the road, or do you write like do you write at home? Do you have set times? I know some like Nashville country guys are like, I write Monday through Thursday.
Yeah, we've done a lot of different things. On this stuff that we're doing at the moment, we kind of started with, because we've been working with me, Jordan, and Dan, and we will start with like an idea, or like Dan or Jordan will start with an idea. I can't write music, but I can, when I hear something, I can.
Other than drums, you don't play?
Yeah.
That's tough, dude, because I sing a little bit, and it's like, it's hard when you can't play guitar.
So I can sing, I can come up with melodies, and when an idea is put in front of me, I can say, I think you should do this, and then mouth it along, or I've had an idea. So Dan will normally write an idea or a bunch of ideas, and then we'll play it to me, and then I'll be like, I think this is great, let's link this. Same with Jordan, and we'll all be together. We'll start writing melodies together, start putting structures. Dan will then go and write the lyrics while me and Jordan will finesse the kind of ideas, and that's kind of how we're working at the moment. But we got Curse. Curse was done with a couple of other songs. We got Curse done in a day.
Under a day?
Yeah.
And is that the only one you did with Jordan?
No, we've got some other stuff coming.
Okay, cool. Have you said anything about a new record? Is there any announcements on that yet?
No.
Can you say anything on if there's one coming or not? I'm not going to put you on the spot.
We're writing music.
Love it. I love it.
We're writing music. We've written 2 songs.
Are you really taking your time on it?
We're feeling pretty confident with where things are going.
From what I'm hearing, I understand.
Yeah, but I think again with us, I think we're going to put something out that is really special.
Yeah.
So if we need to go again, we will go again. Yeah. But things are shaping up very well.
I think with anything, with music, with movies, with video games, when there's not a timetable set on it, and it's like this is, and a lot of bands seem to be doing that right now. I think The Plot and You is doing stuff like that. A lot of bands are just kind of putting out singles individually. It seems like maybe there's a change in the industry with that.
I think with me, I think the good thing about where we're at now is I have a thing that I've had on some songs in the past, and I realized I haven't had it on Classic Symptoms as much, where I have this thing at the moment where we're writing and we're listening back, when we've got songs done, I want to listen to it again immediately. And I had that with Animals, where when we finished Animals, I listened to it again every single day. And I had it with Curse, and I had it with Seeing Red.
Is Animals one of your biggest songs now?
I think so. I think it's probably our biggest.
You think it's the biggest?
I think so,
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And so,
and that's on like an album 2 albums ago. That's our biggest record.
Everybody, surprise, the melodic song's the biggest song.
Yeah. But I think do you know what's kind of cool about that is, and I don't think we realized it at the time, is it's a melodic song, but the actual backbone of that song is brutal. It's insane. And live, it's like hard as nails.
I've seen videos that y'all have posted. Whoever does your videos, by the way,
Isaac,
dude's a beast.
He's the man.
Isaac, you're great. Thank you.
He's the man.
Somewhere nearby. But their videos are amazing, and I saw a video of y'all doing Animals somewhere recently, and the crowd was just every single person in the crowd was screaming it.
It's such a joy. I think especially being where we're at in our career, to have our biggest song be off the second to last record. We open with Seeing Red. That's probably a similar level of excitement when we play it. Curse goes off. We have 11 records.
Now your band
is old.
I know you're just a normal dude. Not old. I know you're just a normal dude. But your band is also the bands love your band. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you feel that? Do you feel the support you've gotten from your peers who are everyone's Architects is sick. They're that band. Yeah,
it's nice. It's nice. And it's kind of weird because I don't really kind of know how to take it.
Right.
But I do feel like a band's
band. Do you feel
band.
compliments are fake or something, or
No, I can't take compliments. So I'm like, okay, cool, yeah. I kind of
feel that in some ways.
I feel like we're I don't know. I really look up to bands like Deftones.
Yes, dude.
And I love how they've done stuff, and they continue to do stuff, and they're so inspiring. And I think I kind of like that we kind of get lumped in that world.
Yep.
You know, that kind of credible sort of world, and I love that. And I think if you can have a career like them, you'd be very happy.
Talk about, all right, this is the thing. Guys, if there's anything I've ever said, maybe on this channel, about this guy's band or about any band, if there's a band you haven't seen live, Architects is the best money to spend to go see them live. Your live show it's one of those ones where you watch and you go, oh damn,
Yeah.
these guys did not come to play.
We don't like making money. The video wars that we've seemed to have got ourselves into they're not cheap, but
expensive.
Yeah. But it's fun, you know. I think especially now in this world where you know the price of everything is going up. If you want people to spend money to come and see you, you have to put on a show.
Right.
You know, and there's certainly better shows than we put on out there.
Well, no, but
we do what we can, you know.
Perspective, though, a playing perspective, and the sound and the intensity of your live show.
Yeah.
When did you guys figure out, like, or I guess, how did you develop that? You know, how did you know how hard you need to go? How did you? It just seems crazy to me that the coordination that goes into performing with the band and everybody bringing the right amount of energy.
I think for a long time, I think we were just kids, so you just go out and play and do whatever. You know, we didn't have in-ears for years.
Really?
Yeah.
What year did you get in-ears?
We got in-ears on All Our Gods, when All Our Gods came out, the first
2016?
tour. Yeah. So
you
before
guys didn't have in-ears for like, whoa, dude.
Which is fine because
really widespread common though. Right?
Yeah. We just didn't have the money.
Yeah.
We didn't have the money to do anything like that. So we were just like, we didn't really kind of hear what we were doing. Dan had some, he would play to a click, so we'd be tight because he would lock in and we'd play to him. But then, when we started having ears, that started getting better, and then we now where we're at now, we work really hard to get things there. We have a couple of people that aren't in the band that tour with us as well. We have our friend Ryan that plays keys and does backing vocals, and he basically does everything that would normally be on tracks.
Right.
We just wanted to have somebody there doing it.
Respect.
No, we still have tracks, like, you know.
Sure, yeah.
But
everybody does.
Everybody does.
I mean, come on.
Especially when we were doing Classic Symptoms, we had so many electronics that it was like, let's have somebody do one level of the electronics, because otherwise you just feel mad.
Right.
And, you know, we were able to have the opportunity to have him. He was a friend of ours, and I wanted to have him with us. So, yeah, we try and do as best we can, but we still have some tracks. But, yeah, it's nice to be where we're at and work hard and make sure everyone's got their levels and layers, and, yeah, it feels good.
And connecting, you know, it feels like you guys are really building momentum worldwide, and the last few years, again, I just can't get over the fact that you change your sound, you take this big creative risk, and now we've got numerous bands where, you know, it's shocking to me for you to say Animals is your biggest song.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Yeah, Animals, Doomsday, when we were young.
Yeah.
Seeing
and
Red.
Doomsday, another melodic song.
Yeah.
And Doomsday, when that came out, dude, so All Our Gods is probably my favorite one from y'all.
Yeah.
But when Doomsday came out, I think that changed the genre.
Yeah, a lot of people like that riff.
Yeah.
A lot of people like that riff. Which is fine.
Yeah. We're all inspired.
Fine. We're all inspired. I mean, I think it's really cool.
A lot of people like that riff.
It's cool. It's cool. You know, it's flattering, and I think it's nice. It's kind of like Tom's legacy.
Yes.
You know, and I think it's people. I think there's two ways to kind of look at it. You can be like, oh, fuck you, you're ripping us off. But, like, everything, you can take inspiration from everywhere. It's just how you do it.
Yep.
You know, like, I'm not going to sit here and say that Tear Gas wasn't inspired by Rammstein. Right. You know, it fucking is.
Right.
You know, and if Rammstein were like, what the fuck are you doing? I'd be like, hey, we were inspired by it. We didn't steal it.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's fucking cool. I mean, if you'd have told me when I was a kid that we'd have a sound that bands are trying to do, I'd be flattered. So it's trying to remember that instead of being like, what the fuck? Like,
and I think
every note of music has been written before. You know, we're not the Beatles. It's fine.
And by the way, bro, because I know you follow me, if you ever see me posting crazy shit like Puddle of Mud is better than the Beatles, I'm just trolling, bro.
Oh, I'm with you. Everyone sends me that shit. Everyone's like, hey, well, imagine if this was, and it like kicks in and it's like Nickelback. I'm like, yeah, I get it. I get it.
The Beatles, I'm just trolling.
Yeah.
I think they're outstanding.
But we're not them, so it's okay for people to
you guys
do stuff.
You get to record in Abbey Road, didn't you?
A few times, yeah.
What's that like, dude?
Yeah, pretty crazy. I had the opportunity last year actually to go to there was a film premiere at Abbey Road about Abbey Road, and I went there with my friends that are in that band Royal Blood. We went together, and Paul was there, Ringo was there, the Harrison estate was there, Elton John was there, and there was like 50 people in the room. It was unbelievable. Whoa. I met Paul, and Yeah, it was like a dream come true in Studio 2. So like you're in the Beatles room and meeting a Beatle. It was
amazing
magic.
how many moments. I'm sure you've had a lot of moments where you're like, I can't believe I'm here.
Dude, even in that moment, it was like, what was so cool about it was there was like 50 people in the room. They were all like insane bands. Like you sat behind. I was watching Paul McCartney and Elton John hug like at different parts of the film, and you're like, I don't know how my life has got to this point where I'm seeing this, but you can bet your ass I'm just going to say nothing.
Right.
I'm not going to go online and be like, this happened to me, this, like post pictures, because in that situation you're like, just keep your phone in your pocket and just like take it all in. Right. And you're like watching Paul McCartney and Elton John get emotional. Like, I mean, I know I'm talking about it now, but it's like, it was an unbelievable experience. The one that I would never be able to even take in. Even if I said to Paul, can I have a picture? I don't need the picture. Like, I just had that moment of like, I've waited my entire life to meet you. And yeah.
Are there other moments like that for you where you're like, man, I can't believe this is real. I can't believe I got to meet, I've had so many moments.
There's some crazy ones. The craziest ones recently have been like, I support Manchester United, which is my football team, and I got invited to go and watch them train.
Awesome.
And like go and meet the players and like.
Do any of them listen to the band?
The striker that we have at the moment, Rasmus Højlund, he just started following me on Instagram, so I think he may be a fan. So, but I know before there was a player called David De Gea that was an Architects fan. He was our goalkeeper for a while. But I've got friends at the club that are so nice, and they hook us up and put me in the ground. Like that to me is so cool.
Y'all are massive in Europe.
Yeah.
I mean, gigantic.
We do okay, yeah.
Yeah, you do okay over in Europe. No,
I thought you were talking about Man United, and then you were like, and I was like,
you got this. I know how big. Football over there is, and I know what it means to people. I'm more of a American football guy. I like UFC because it's easy to understand. Guys just punch to the head.
It's like where like the UFC training camps are. It's essentially like you being invited there.
It's like a huge honor.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't happen.
Right. Wow.
And like I took my cousin. We've been to every single Manchester United game I've been to since I was a kid. I've been to with him.
Do you get bent out of shape when they lose?
Yeah. We just lost.
I'm sorry.
And I'm like. It's okay. Like we go home. When we finish this tour, we fly home. We're home for 2 days, and we go and we play Munich with Metallica.
Whoa! Dude.
And then I come back. I fly back the next morning to go and see Man United play an FA Cup final. And me and my wife were supposed to spend the day in Munich after, and I was like, sweetheart, I'm really sorry. We have to go to it.
And she's going with you?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
And she's like, why the fuck are we going? I'm like, trust me, there's a chance it'll be amazing. Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. That's how I feel about the Philadelphia Eagles here in the U.S. I understand and that's cool that you've gotten to be a part of that.
Yeah.
So we're almost coming up. It's festival day, so we don't get to go as long. I know you've got stuff coming up here. For you, the next music, is there anything you can share? What fans can expect coming from you guys next that you can share here without giving anything away? What would you tell people about summarizing what's coming?
We're fine.
Yep.
You'll enjoy it.
Good.
And I think you really will enjoy it. Yeah. I'm very proud of what we're creating at the moment. I think we're taking the level of this band to the next level, and I think the music is exciting, and I think it's fresh, and I think it's inspired by maybe what we've done in the past. I think it's inspired by something fresh and new and exciting. And I'm just really proud. I think it'll be our best record by far. And I know people say that, but I will sit here and say that our last record wasn't that. And I can tell you ones of our records that I think are really good and ones that missed the mark. And I will tell you that this one is the best one.
Wow.
When it's finished.
Wow.
And it's not finished yet, but it will be.
And
otherwise it won't come out.
And you're seeing the performance of these two songs that have come out already that are doing very well, where you have Curse and Seeing Red. I mean, they're doing very well. And so,
it's mad.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's mad. I think you
guys are really picking up, a lot of steam right now with these.
It just feels really exciting. Yeah. I'm just very grateful after all this time.
Yeah.
I think.
Did you think you'd be doing it this long?
No.
Yeah.
I saw an interview of myself where I was like 21, 22, and in the interview I was like, well, I can't be doing this when I'm 30. and I'm 35, and I'm like, who the fuck does that kid think he is? Talking to me like I'm old.
Right.
But I'm just very grateful to still be here. The whole band is.
Yep.
You know, we played in Myrtle Beach yesterday.
Yep.
The House of Blues, and it was fucking rammed.
Yeah.
And you're like in the middle of nowhere in America, not in the middle of nowhere, but somewhere where
It's a small area.
I didn't think we would pull that many people.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just all feels really exciting.
Yeah.
I just feel really. Just trying to not take it too seriously and get all bent out of shape and annoyed by things these days. I really just want to like.
Life is too short, man.
It honestly really is.
Yeah.
And I think we're a band. It's not. It doesn't need to be more complicated than that.
Right.
We're mates.
Right.
We love writing music.
You
We're
guys
always
got
going to be.
really good camaraderie and cohesiveness, and
Yeah, we're the best. We're best mates.
Yeah.
I like straight up talk every day. I think we don't get on each other's nerves.
Right.
Like well, I think we do a little bit, but I mean, we've been a band for 20 years. You know when people need space or an arm around the shoulder. It's like a good sports team, you know.
it's very smart. I remember Andrew from the Ghost Inside was telling me, because he was like, I'm going to hang out with Sam
He's the
Carter.
best.
I know, I love him, but he was like, I'm going to go hang out with Sam Carter. I'm like, dude, I'm such a simp for that band, dude. I'm like, I fucking love Architects. I'm like, that's so cool. He's like, dude, they're hilarious.
Oh, man.
That's what he told me about you. He was like, the whole band is hilarious.
If and when us and the Ghost Inside tour together again, we will have to book it so it's show on, day off, because I will lose my voice from laughing hanging out with Andy. He's the funniest person
He
in the
is
world.
so funny. I love all those guys.
I'll say this now while we're on record as well. When Tom was really sick, him and Andy spoke a bit, and I know that Andy was a massive inspiration for Tom when Tom was like really going through it.
Wow.
And they had a real connection with what had happened. And Andy is just, I think kind of now people, I think, kind of take it for granted what Andy's been through.
Yeah.
And like for him to come out the other side and be as hilarious as he is, he lights up every room.
Exactly.
Yeah. But the fact that guy plays drums,
Yeah.
like I used to play drums, the fact that he plays drums now is insane.
Yes.
And the fact that he plays drums as well as he does is unbelievably
One
mind
of the
blowing.
best dudes in the game.
Oh, and I wish him every bit of love and success.
New album is insane.
Yeah, amazing.
Super solid. It's
Amazing band. Yeah.
Great record.
Yeah, again, another band. I'm not going to be like, I'm just stoked that people are doing well.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Sam Carter, I cannot thank you enough. One of the best vocalists.
Thank you for having me on. my
Dude, he
friend.
doesn't do many interviews,
No,
y'all.
I don't. I'm very supportive of your channel and you, and
Thank you.
I think you're doing a really important thing. I think the way that you kind of discuss things that are going on within the scene is really important.
I really appreciate that. I just want to say, years ago, before I ever knew you, my father passed away. You commented on my post and you offered your condolences, and I never forgot that.
Oh,
meant
man.
the world to me, man.
Oh, man.
Offered me some comfort on a bad day.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Sam Carter, dude, one of the best vocalists in the game. An honor to have you here. Check these guys out. If you haven't gone and seen them live, you are fucking up.
Come and hang out with us.
Yes, 1,000%.
I'll be really cheeky and fun.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you.